Go.
Good evening, everybody. Some of you people may know me, some of you don't, and for those who don't, my name is Augustus Wilson. I'm here to talk about domestic violence and false accusations. In domestic violence is a serious situation. Women, children, nor men should be battered. It's a situation that should be addressed, but unfortunately, through this process, a lot of men are being falsely accused, falsely convicted deliberately by district attorneys in the system. Judges are exhibiting biasness, and this is a silent epidemic that needs to be stopped. It's destroying men's lives, it's separating children from fathers. And the worst thing is that years ago, when women were being battered and killed, and they were turning a blind eye, um, this was supposed to have been set in mind to protect them, and I believe that they should be protected. But in retrospect, no one should literally be falsely accused or convicted for something they didn't do. So, just for fear of political payload for prosecutors and judges, they're deliberately convicting people, and it's inappropriate and has to stop. Currently, there's a petition on Congress that has 37,000 signatures. Gentlemen, men, women, alike, everybody, there should be more signatures than 37,000 signatures. Okay, that number should be magnified by at least 10 million, because everyone has a son. Someone has a son out there, a cousin, a nephew, an uncle. This is a social issue that affects us all as a whole. It affects families because viable fathers are literally being taken away from their children. They're having to pay astronomical sums in child support. And then if they literally go and try to subsidize their income just to be able to stay afloat, that woman can basically go back to court and get an increase. I'm calling on the mayor, Bill de Blasio, Governor Cuomo, President Trump. This is a social issue that they've turned a blind eye to, that literally needs to be addressed. Right now, our government, certain politicians are literally fighting for immigrant children and their families and them being separated, which I feel is commendable. But simultaneously, here within our own country, we have an epidemic that literally they know the backroom practices thereof, and they're turning a blind eye. So how do we sit there and try to resolve issues with foreign people to make sure that they have rights, or their family is settled, or they have a family structure in this country, and literally it's not being done for taxpaying citizens in this country here? This is something that needs to be stopped. I'm fighting for my life right now. My case is about to go to appellate court, and I want my story to get out there to ensure that I am not railroading. I had sufficient evidence in the beginning that was already furnished to my attorney prior to my trial. And when it comes to domestic violence, false allegations, district attorneys, judges, they don't want to hear those whispers. Actually, they'll do everything to more or less smother that information where it basically doesn't come to light. In my situation, I really feel that the public defender's office was actually in cahoots with them, because I've given my attorney the evidence 2 months prior to trial. And as when you see the next segment of this story, you're going to see physical documentation that could be verified as authentic. Whereas the lawyers actually telling me that the district attorney and the judge is not going to listen to the entire audio, and if they did, they wouldn't listen to the entire audio, and that's basically about it. So basically, he was telling me that the evidence that I had that would exonerate me wouldn't exonerate me. Like, they had no interest of it, and this basically needs to stop, because this situation is not only sending men destitute for various different reasons, it's destroying our life. You can't get a viable job anywhere. So you go from, say, if you're making $140,000 a year like myself, to either having no job, then child support wants to send you to a program, what they call a one-step program, which you literally have to you have to participate in. And I'm pretty sure it's some companies have some type of contract with the city to hire people of this status. And normally that's going to be a lower paying job, something that you're not used to. And you may have to literally, again, get a second job to subsidize your income just to survive. Child support is literally putting men in destitute situations without any regard of them being able to maintain. Now, if you put a man in a situation where he can't even maintain a roof over his head or enough money to go to work, how do you expect him to be able to go out to work and function and to provide? It's virtually impossible. So I'm asking everybody literally to step up, because this is something, like I said, affects us all. And I'm going to show you where the backroom practices are malicious and they deliberate. And I'm calling for the same politicians that I've been a constituent of and literally voted for to literally help me out to be able to rescue and save my life, because right now I'm fighting for my life. My children have literally been taken from me. They've been alienated. And literally the system basically has assisted them in it. I'm going to show you where I had 7 orders to show cause of indicating the fact that my children's mother was basically blocking the CFS visits and the forensic psychologist visits, along with visits for Safe Horizon. And with an order of attempt to court, a notice of attempt to court on file, she's blatantly disregarded this, and she's not been penalized even with that notice of contempt of court on record. And I'm trying to figure out why. I was receiving death threats. My family, friends of mine were receiving death threats. I filed timely police reports. You're going to see I filed timely police reports. Furnished that along with the physical evidence of getting death threats. We had a court date on February 8th, 2017. Whereas I'll show you also the correspondence between me and officers whom I filed a report with, where she was arrested in front of a magistrate in Part 24 in Bronx Criminal Court, Bronx Family Court. And she actually called the district attorney on our case. And somehow, 3 hours later, she was released, from custody. And I believe that occurred because I was actually the complaining witness. And when if a woman has a domestic violence charge against you, it's apparent that anything she does, the system is literally giving her a license to legally go around and break the law. I'm going to show you documentation. I'm going to show you audio. I'm going to let you listen to audio, verifying everything that I'm saying right now. No one, no entity of this system that I'm going to sit there and walk you through can say they did not participate in this malicious act in taking my life away. They cannot say that they didn't know that this woman was lying and still pushed on to prosecute me. For the life of me, when my lawyer told me that they wouldn't even listen to the audio or they wouldn't listen to all of it, I really didn't understand, because I felt it was my constitutional right where they would have to listen to it, and especially if it exonerated me. But now it makes sense after doing the research on domestic violence and how judges and prosecutors turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to any whispers of false allegations. And unfortunately, this is a silent epidemic that is not addressed. It's not really documented. So in one regard, it's hard to say how rampant it is. But I'm sure that it is, because a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, if given the opportunity, they would basically come forward. Hopefully, my crusade in saving my life will give these people the courage to come forward and share these stories. These are people whom we trust to literally uphold the law fairly and impartially just to keep our society safe. And literally, they are destroying men. They're taking fathers away. I thought that this was a society where they want fathers to raise their children. You're taking good fathers from their children. And they're allowing the mother to literally alienate these children, influence these children against the fathers, and creating a mass of hysteria relationship-wise with these children. Besides the red tape of going through the system to be able to see them, the system is quick to take your money from you, child support. But they're not equally as swift when it comes to joining or fusing that relationship together. They're constantly giving mothers, they're writing reports and giving mothers opportunity to jump through little loopholes that further delay cases, which is definitely appalling. This is something that basically have to stop. Women know that they can literally control a man's life by going to court, making these allegations. And even when it comes to child support, women are given too much power, literally to dictate a man's financial status, which ultimately can undermine his life. So I feel like this: any woman or any man that has been abused a child domestic violence wise, absolutely. Anybody has committed that offense, it should be taken seriously. They should be prosecuted. But people who did commit this offense should not be prosecuted at all. Women should not be given a platform to be able to commit these atrocities. And not only that, women should also be penalized once discovered that these accusations are false, because this is literally breaking the law. And by the system turning a blind eye to it, you're assisting these women to break the law. And basically, that isn't right. I'm going to show you even a situation that this very same person has committed various different frauds on various different levels. Preferably, or actually, to be frank, food stamp fraud. So this woman altered her pay stubs, bought a fraudulent letter from her job, which is Montefiore Hospital. So I'm pretty sure Montefiore want to sit there and investigate this, because I doubt if they want to really be associated with fraudulent acts that were committed by their employees that have anything to do with their entity. Because basically, it's just a bad look. Okay, so women are able to manipulate the system to get food stamps. Okay, this woman defrauded the system out of food stamps for over 9 years. They didn't stop her food stamps until they actually began taking, child support from me. Which the moment that they terminated her child support, they should have been able to realize by viewing her case that the amount that she was receiving was too much for 3 individuals in a house. For the amount that she makes, actually, you have to have 5 individuals in a house. But they didn't notice that because they're really not concerned with that. When I called, and this is just another thing that needs to be corrected, when I called and reported this issue to SNAP fraud investigators, you're going to hear the process, which also needs to be restructured, because I believe that an investigation is an investigation. I believe that you're supposed to have suffice and sufficient and authentic, documentation. But there are other ways to, do investigations, perhaps if you don't have the physical documentation. You're going to hear, while making this report, that it's being explained to me that the only investigation that can be done in regards to the matter I reported was on the basis of altering the pay stub and presenting a fraudulent letter to qualify for SNAP. Okay, I further informed the investigator that if they check her bank records, they would discover the timely deposits that I've made. And these are timely deposits of paying tuition, rent. These are incomes and various other things. And this is monies that have not been reported to SNAP, because I'm pretty sure if this money was reported, she would have never even qualified. So to make a long story short, I'm giving them the blueprint in regards to sit there to have or to be able to build an efficient investigation. And they're telling me that literally they can't even, take that route and investigate it on those terms. And I'm just trying to figure out, and made me revert to the dictionary to find out what the term investigation means. Because I would assume that if you was able to find definitive and suffice bank records or transactions that indicate what I'm sitting there saying is so, and basically I can tell you times and dates, that would basically suffice besides my testimony as a witness. So I think that's another system that basically needs to be revamped. Because see, women have taken abusing the system and precious funding for people who really need this this type of help or these resources, and falsely doing them away by making false accusations. The system is no better than them because they're assisting them, knowing that these women are lying. They also, and it's even more appalling when they contribute to it, because they should know the value of these precious fundings. They should know the value of the necessity that people who, actually experience these horrible atrocities, how these resources are limited. And it's hard to get these resources. And in regards, they're just as bad as the one sitting there making the false accusations or any other criminal, because you're assisting, you're aiding and abetting them and giving them a platform for something that you know that they're lying. And that basically isn't right. And you're literally depriving women who really face these situations of the adequate resources because they become limited, because they're falsely used. So this is taxpayers' dollars. So literally, as taxpayers, you're saying that we're literally paying taxes for the very same people that our tax dollars employ to come into the court systems in our neighborhood and further eradicate the father or the male presence in children's lives. This cannot be conducive with being in the best interest of children. This is not having the children's best interest at hand. And especially when they cite, when allegations are made that something is wrong, that they don't thoroughly investigate it. I've been getting death threats. I made police reports in timely fashion. I brought extensive evidence and proof. And I've learned that when a woman has a domestic charge against you, or you've been accused of it, that every precinct that you go to is going to turn you away when they look up or run your name in regards to you filing a report. And they're going to turn you away. And this is a great travesty. Like, this is very much appalling, and they should not get away with it. This is a situation that's serious, okay? And I don't think that in the manner of how they're trying to resolve this, or quote unquote, as you say, eradicate it, is the right way. It's worse. It's a worse injustice, or just as worse as when women were being battered and they were turning a blind eye because the man was the breadwinner and the woman was a homemaker. Okay? Apparently then, unfortunately, it appeared that men had the power. Now, the system is giving women the power in a way that now the system not only can be manipulated, but also a man's life could be manipulated and torn apart. This needs to stop. Everybody needs to sit there and stand up about this, because it's about time that everybody stands up and appropriately search for measures that's going to literally be fair to all and change these practices. The way child support is calculated and the way men are condemned in child support court, it needs to change. There's no way possible you can expect men to be viable citizens or productive fathers, putting them through those type of strenuous situations. It's virtually not possible. We are human. And sometimes the way the system is made, they know that they're dragging these things out. They know that they're going to sit there and frustrate us men to the degree where at the end, rather than continue losing work or your life of going back and forth to court, going through the stress, most people sit there, most men turn around and literally start taking plea deals just to try to bring it to a head. And that's something that I don't even suggest. If you didn't do it, don't take a plea deal. Fight for it. I didn't take a plea deal. I took mine to trial. And I'm going to show you through my trial transcript and everything that I've accumulated as far as evidence, the blatant and malicious disregard for the law by these entities. Okay? And this needs to be stopped. Citizens should not be treated this way. For the same politicians that go out and vie for our votes should be the same politicians that sit up here and basically fight for this matter. Because then what other purpose do you really serve as constituents? You want our vote, but you do not protect our interests. You politicians are very much responsible for these officials whom you appoint that turn up to be biased, or they carry their responsibilities in unjust fashions. And true, you can't say that you knew what a person was going to do, but before you vouch for a person and appoint them, these are things that I think they should be very much researched and investigated to ensure it's the right person for the job. Because if not, you're not serving the citizens of this city efficiently and fairly. So I ask everybody basically to stay tuned. This is a serious situation. Like I said, this ain't an isolated issue as far as men and women. It's us as a society as a whole. It takes all of us to literally give our input or to voice our opinion on this matter here. Again, like I say, domestic violence is a very, very serious thing. It should be taken seriously. If someone commits that offense, by all means, they should be prosecuted in accordance to the law. But again, I stress this, and I can't stress this enough. Okay? It should not be a backroom practice. It should not be an issue where innocent men are being prosecuted and basically convicted for fair political payload. Prosecutors and judges, your future or your career should solely be measured on the merit of your integral services. It should not come at the expense of tax-paying innocent citizens just for you to sit there and convict somebody of an allegation that is false just to say you got it right. That's not getting it right. By no means is that getting it right. Again, I can't stress enough what happened to women in the past before certain laws were passed that, were designed to protect them. I feel this is a great travesty, and this is even more of an immoral thing for myself because I just happen to be a product of 10 women. I have a mother, but I have 9 sisters, and they're responsible for the man whom I am. Okay, so besides the fact of enduring the embarrassment, the shame, the struggles, and the hardships of going through this situation and having this charge, morally, it's even more devastating for the fact that I've never basically put my hands on a woman. I never basically have any verbal abuse for a woman. That's just not me. It's not the way I was raised. And I don't think that there's any woman, whether professionally, friend, can literally sit there and say, acquaintance, can literally say that I've been anything other than basically a gentleman. Disrespecting women or being verbally disrespectful, whether physically, verbally, it's just never actually been like, a part of my DNA. And I'm sure that a lot of people could testify to that on like my behalf. But just know one thing. I know this is my fight, and I'm going to fight because I want my life back. New York City needs to know that I am not going to back down. I'm going to be vocal about this matter. I'm going to bring everything that I have to substantiate and prove that what I'm saying, everything that I have can be verified because it's authentic. And this is a matter that with this information that I have shown you the step-by-step process on how the system blatantly and maliciously convicts men and put us through it. So, on another thing, I'm going to also show you how judges, when it comes to child support, how they deliberately, erroneously write up the final order, knowing that the state attorney representing the mother is going to object to it, and knowing that the objection judge is going to grant it. All that's designed to put you in debt. Right now, I'm in debt with child support because of the system. First, they knew that she was not telling the truth when she brought these charges. And when she brought these charges, by them sitting there enforcing and convicting me and prosecuting me, by having an order of protection, I couldn't provide second or third party for those children, for my children rather. And in that regard, I'm being penalized for something that I could have done as I've always done. And I'm being penalized of being in debt for arrears for that fact. Also, I'm going to show you that every time there was a court date or step-by-step of this process that I've gone through, this very same woman has literally bantered me or someone connected to me, whether it be my wife, my friends, potential business associates, my children's friends, literally bantered about the court proceedings and how New York, always is going to side with the woman. So know this, women know how to manipulate the system. Women are getting coaching from other women who literally has committed these acts of falsely accusing men of crime, domestic crimes that they didn't even commit. And this basically needs to stop. I think a message needs to be sent to women who literally sit there and commit this act that it will not be tolerated. We work, or our society thrives on limited funding for certain programs. Tell me why it's acceptable for a program as serious as domestic violence resources and assistance for people who actually experience those atrocities, that women are literally given free reign to abuse that process or abuse the funding or abuse the resources available. If that ain't malicious, then I don't know what it is. And I think it's virtually insensitive to the women that really go through these atrocities. And then when so many women may have filed or needed assistance, some are turned away because there's no more money in the budget. These politicians, these judges, these district attorneys should be held accountable for their actions. They should be held accountable for their decisions, because their decisions aren't things that's putting them in the balance of where they don't know they're consciously making these decisions. They're constantly making these decisions. And I'm going to show that even upon my sentencing, I was questioned. Matter, I can't say question. I was presented with a question. Whereas, um, did I have any, did I have anything to say, prior to, the judge imposing sentencing? And the only thing I could say is what I've been always saying from the beginning was that, I didn't commit this crime. I didn't even put my hands on her. Matter of fact, I was not even within 10, 15 feet of the woman at the time that I was even, when we was in each other's presence on the day in question. Okay? I'm not going to mention the judge's name right now, but I will bring it to light. I will let it be known that this is one of the judges that Mayor de Blasio literally appointed to her position. And basically, his address to like the citizens of New York, basically felt like this. Hold on, because I want to be accurate with that. Okay. Excuse me for one moment. I want to get to that. Just want to get this accurate information here for y'all. Okay. Words of Mayor de Blasio. Mayor de Blasio appoints 20 judges to family and criminal and civil court, January 4th, 2017. Mayor Bill de Blasio today announced the appointment of 15 justices, family, criminal, and civil court. The mayor also appointed 5 judges to criminal and civil court. Collectively, these judges have years of experience serving New Yorkers in the public and private sectors and nonprofit sectors. New Yorkers observe judges who are impartial. New Yorkers deserve judges who are impartial and who are committed to fighting for justice and fairness, said Mayor Bill de Blasio. I look forward to working with these 15 new judges, and I welcome back the 5 judges I've had the pleasure of working with. I'm confident that they will fight for New Yorkers' best interests across the 5 boroughs. Well, actually, I beg to differ on that, because one of the justices that he actually appointed clearly exhibit something on the contrary other than what he's expressing what New Yorkers deserve. And I feel that's appalling. And basically, this is a practice that basically really needs to stop. So I can't say that like I blame the mayor, but I'm calling on the mayor to sit there and to view this situation, to view my case and other cases like it, and take the necessary steps or the appropriate measures to move forward to clarify this situation, to ensure that there are much more efficient measures moving forward to be able to like accurately determine when an offense has been committed. I think that there should be different procedures set in place or mandated that they would have to follow as an investigative measures to ensure, because again, like I said, when men are being convicted of this crime, it's taking their life away. They're like literally walking empty vessels because they can't get a job nowhere. So it'll always be that factory job or some type of odd job. Is this the situation that we want to sit there and put fathers in? How do we become viable fathers? How do we sit there and be able to provide for our children and our families without being railroaded. So, again, I implore everybody to follow the Railroad Stops here on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll definitely be literally posting and exhibiting evidence. I'm asking everybody to literally, if you see this video, to literally tag everybody you know. And that's, I mean, everybody you know, tag them. Everybody you know, tag them, because again, this is a social issue that affects us all. It affects families, it's destroying families. And it's a social issue, whereas right now, men are being eradicated out of like the social environment, and this basically needs to stop. Children need mothers, they need fathers as well. Mothers and fathers need to find a way to come to a balance, especially when children are involved, to adequately and respectfully work together in the best interest of the children. And I think those are situations or circumstances that if the system has to intervene, that they should have the greatest interest in trying to broker to ensure that those measures are literally accomplished, to whereas they will literally cultivate or promote, healthy relationships.